Hey everyone, it's me again. It's your local heavily armed cat boy. Well, I guess not heavily armed. I only have a few weapons, but I'm your well-armed cat boy. Can't wait till I'm 21 and I can buy a pistol. And I could have like a full loadout. And I could like compete in Trigun and things like that. But none of that's the topic of today's video. Usually I go on a rant in these, and I guess this is more like a time where I talk about some self-reflection I've been going through, and I might take like a serious break from content. I haven't decided yet, but it has to do with like some moral dilemmas of me being a femboy, like why I do this. Am I in it because I find it like sexy or something? Am I in it for the gratification of men who find what I do sexy? I guess I take a look at like a lot of prevalent people who are femboys, and I see people like Panky VT. I've come to the conclusion that the reason I so strongly disliked him is because he represents something I fear becoming. Growing up, I was in a Christian household. While we didn't attend church, I would go to a Christian daycare, of Lutheran one specifically, but that still didn't change the fact that we had to sit through Bible verses and stuff. And generally growing up, sex education was extremely lacking. Like, I didn't even have like the concept of gender, like the old concept of gender, understanding what that was. To me, the terms boy and girl were just a thing. I didn't understand the biological differences. I didn't understand that well, I guess not only, but biologically, women are supposed to have boobs and men have dicks. Men don't have boobs and women don't have dicks. I didn't even know that until the 6th grade. And that was like really eye-opening for me. And then I get to 7th grade, and the topic of sexuality comes up. I had no idea what the hell sexuality was. To me, I had just grown up with like Disney movies. They were like, the guy gets with the girl and that's it. That's all you ever really see. I had no concept of like guys can like guys, girls can like girls. You can be different genders besides man and woman. Nor did I really think about like clothing and what it's for. So like from 7th to 9th grade, I really started going down this rabbit hole. There wasn't even hatred in my heart. I couldn't hate something that I didn't understand. It's like the idea of you don't have any knowledge of... It's like if you grew up in the desert and all of a sudden, like you went to a school, you gained the concept of an ocean. It's like you can't hate the people that live there because you didn't even know that the ocean existed. That's probably a really fucking bad analogy, but whatever. I'm struggling to like explain things because like I remember like I'd be learning all these things and everybody else is like, I already knew this. Well, I didn't know shit. I'd usually like catch up to concepts years after they're like a thing. Like I didn't really understand Fortnite as a concept until years after it was popular. I didn't have Minecraft until years after it was popular. Hell, I didn't get Minecraft until... No, fuck, I'm meandering again. But, like, sex was a thing I never even understood for the longest time. So, I was lacking sex education and really didn't understand it. And it seemed like everybody else had a greater understanding of things. So, I just kind of tried going with everything that I'd see online. And that's really fucking bad. Like, I didn't understand. I guess back to, like, when I said in my last video about, like, the gotcha community is something I used to be a part of. Well, a surprising number of femboys were in the gotcha community. I would see, like, Michael Afton and alternative universes where he becomes, like, a femboy after the games. I didn't understand, like, there was any level of, like, sex connected to that. To me, it was just, like, he would dress up, and I just saw it as normal. It wasn't until, and I didn't even understand that there's a concept for this, but I remember being at home on days where my grandparents weren't there, and I would just, like, take my pants off, and I'd wrap, like, I'd wrap, like, a blanket around my waist, and then take a belt and fasten it in place, and I'd just walk around the house. I'm like, this is kind of comfortable. I kind of like this, and I didn't even understand, like, I was effectively cross-dressing, and I didn't even understand the concept of cross-dressing. That wasn't even something my school taught me. And it wasn't until September, or no, not September, June of 2025 that I found out what a femboy is. And I'm like, I guess I'm this thing that I didn't know I was. But it's cool. And I liked drawing them, so I thought I liked them. As well as wanting to be one. And around this time, just so happened to be when I got into my relationship. That's a topic for a different video, but I'd like to focus on in a different video. But here's the kicker. I would see my boyfriend's page on Facebook when we started communicating on there because he was afraid of his dad finding out. So we'd go on Facebook because that's like it's an extra barrier to his dad taking his phone that we could hide behind. I don't think it worked in the end, but the fuck do I know? We were in a long distance relationship for most of it, but I would see his page and who he was following. I saw like he liked all these like gorgeous, hot women. Which I can still recognize like when a woman looks good, even though I don't really feel that much attraction to them anymore. And I was like, oh, he likes these type of women. I should try to be like these types of women. I went down this road. I'm like, okay, he likes these slutty women who dress sort of scantily. I guess it sort of had me both wanting to become that for him. It both improved my physical health and made my mental image of myself much, much worse. This is actually around the time I found Panky, the VTuber that I made a video about a while back. That wasn't really that great, but I still worked on it. And I don't really plan to take down any of my videos anymore. I took down like one video and deleted it, and I don't have that anymore. It was like, this is just me whining. Sort of similar to how I am now, but it's while I'm doing something else. I feel like my other video was just me whining with like some really bad Spider-Man gameplay in the background. And I don't have that video anymore. If I did have it, I probably would post it back to YouTube. But any videos I make now, I am going to keep up. Because to show like where I've gone and the journey of like trying to be a YouTuber. So in early September is when I found Panky VT. I had just started school. I was like, oh, there's this guy who's kind of like what I want to be. But, and he's like, well, he's a porn star. He's a femboy. He can pull off like this sassy, bratty femboy sort of thing, and I just kind of tried to make myself more like him. But in late September, I woke up one morning, climbed out of bed. When I climbed down from the way I had my bed arranged, I ended up looking directly into a mirror. One morning, I saw myself disheveled. I had fallen asleep in a skirt that was like stained. Like I could see while I was losing a good bit of weight, I wasn't at all healthy. I was like, what am I doing with my life? And so like I started like researching what God thinks of cross-dressers and gay people, and I read all this scripture. And decided to more or less quit cross-dressing and I'd started going to church at this point. I was like, it's bad to be a whore. It's bad to cross-dress. And I had all these horrible images of myself. I'm like, I need to go to church, or I'd feel like a failure to my entire family and to God if my entire family went to heaven and everyone's there except me because of what I was doing in my life. But one night I still really wanted to cross-dress, and so October 30th came and it was time for the dance. It was time for like a Halloween party at the school, like officially sanctioned by the school. They just gotta check that like any weapon prop you have is not real, and they need your face so that they can recognize who is who, and that the person who is there is actually a student, which I understand. But I wasn't having a great time at the party, and I was cross-dressing. I was like, this doesn't feel as good as it used to. And I felt like a failure to my boyfriend. And so I contacted him, and this is actually one of the last times I contacted him. I asked him what he thought of me. I think I asked him what he thought of me, and his reply was something telling me that he didn't love me. That he never loved me like that, but he wanted to stay friends. I probably should have taken that, because I still worry about him to this day for reasons I'll talk about later. But like that sucked all the joy I had from cross-dressing for a while. And I just like focused on trying to be a better Christian. This is really the point in my life where I say now that ever since September of last year, I have lived every day in fear. For different reasons, including like the... No, I'm not going to go down that route. There, effectively, since September of 2025, I have lived every day in fear of at least one thing. What that one thing is changes, and sometimes there's more things that I'm afraid of. But I don't know what I'm rambling about. This is going to be the longest YouTube video I've had in ever. Which is, I guess, why this is uncut, huh? But post in the comments how you're doing today, because I'm not doing great. Because by December, there was 1 week where I skipped going to church, and then I came back. My pastor, I gave the pastor my number, and he contacted me, and we scheduled a date that I would go to his office. I went to his office and I poured my heart out about my fears, everything I was. I had, not even therapy had me as truthful about who I am, what I'm afraid of, what I see in myself, as he had. And he just sat there and listened to me. Granted, my grades probably on the finals dropped some for this, but I think I was overall better at listening to him. And he told me that what was important was I maintain my faith in the Lord, and that he will forgive me. That the Lord welcomes all of his children back to the church. He gave me all these different stories from the Bible, stories I had never heard. Because I only knew certain popular stories that would be told to me at chapel. A lot of things that I never knew from the Bible, because I hadn't attended church since I was a kid. And he really opened my eyes, and I left that room feeling happier about myself, who I am, what I can do, until recently. And actually that pastor is what inspired me, or that talk with the pastor is what inspired me to create this channel, because I thought, well, I could help people believe in themselves, believe that if I could stop anybody from feeling the amount of pain that I had felt in those months, then that was a duty I could follow through for the world. I guess calling it a duty is a bit narcissistic, but I saw it as a job that I needed to do that would help people. That made me fine with cross-dressing and who I am, but it hasn't really changed my opinion on sexual topics, which, again, I still maintain that you shouldn't be a prostitute, porn star, anything like that. Like, sex is sort of sacred and special, and you're ruining yourself if you don't, sorry, I found a bit of trash. If you don't, like, respect your body, and part of sex is respecting your body. A part of respecting your body is, like, keeping sex to just your partners, and, like, trying to find someone special. But recently, as some of my posts have shown, I've been on Grindr. To this day, I am still a virgin. However, like, I've tried to set up, like, dates with guys, and occasionally multiple guys, that, like, we do, like, a poly thing, and it'd just be, like, casual until I go back to school. And now I have less than 3 weeks to go back to school, and I might uninstall the app. I have a friend or two on there that I like talking to, but it might be better for my mental health to just uninstall the app, because I watched a video, or not much of a video, since how long it was. I listened to, like, a couple stories from a prostitute who also happened to be a femboy. I forget the prostitute's name because I deleted the video from my history, so I hopefully wouldn't see it again. I did that because I felt like I related too much to this hooker. Like, constantly, I asked myself why I'm doing this. I haven't been able to sleep well since then, nor have I been able to really look at myself in the mirror the same way. I guess real takeaway is I live in fear every day of disappointing God. And even if there's not a God, I feel like a disappointment to people who even don't know what I've done. I feel a disappointment to myself. All these projects I could have worked on over the summer, I've wasted away my time on that God-forsaken app. I'm no richer coming away from it. I've went from feeling unwanted before installing the app to feeling like a piece of meat for men to put their dicks inside of. I guess the real warning from this is don't go on Grindr, and try to, like, respect yourself. I guess I'm more asking for advice than trying to give advice out today. Sorry to be such a Debbie Downer here. Have a good rest of your day. Drink some water. Thank you guys for the 75 subscribers. I honestly didn't even think 75 people would watch my video. My first video when I posted it, and now I'm at 75 subscribers. That's actually crazy. It's like been crazy, like, trying to decide the best things to entertain that I find fun in doing. I do want to post, like, one well-edited video before I go, which And then, like, I'll probably do more things in college. Once I'm back in college, things will probably ramp up because I'll have, like, more access to my animation teachers. Once I can animate, the quality of my channel should go up. So, like, the speed at which I make videos will probably go down a lot because I'll have, like, school assignments and stuff. Yeah, drink some water. No, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. If you listen to the end of this, like, put a heart or something down in the comments so I can get some engagement. Bye, guys.